It Must Be Love, also known as Surviving Love, is a film from 2004. This is directed by Stephen Schachter. It's written by Beth Henley, and it's based on Rediscovering Love, the novel by Nancy Whitmore. And it stars Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen, which is significant because they're married in real life. And in the film, they're playing a couple who are going through a divorce. Now, I need to say something first of all before I continue. I can't comment on every aspect of this film. It is not currently available in the UK, streaming anywhere, never released on DVD in the UK as far as I can tell. And I found one place selling the DVD. This is the French version. And I bought it really hoping there'd be the English language version included. The English language version wasn't included. I don't speak French, so I had to take I auto-generated the transcript and then translated it into English, and that's what I used for the subtitles for this film. So while it made sense, everything that the subtitles were saying made sense with what was happening on screen, I can't comment on the dialogue at all because chances are the actual translation is not word for word the same as the original film. So that's worth bearing in mind. I had to go to extreme lengths to get this DVD and then translate it. But I'd say it was worth it. So I can only really comment on the narrative, what ultimately happens with the narrative. I'm not going to give anything away, of course. And while I can praise Ted Danson and Mary Steenburgen for their performances, I don't know who did the dubbing for this, and obviously it's French language, so I can't really comment as much on the acting as I would like. So basically, this is all to say, I like the film. I went to extreme lengths because I love Ted Danson, but take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. And also, if somebody would like to please make it available in the UK, I'd really appreciate it. I would quite happily watch it again, just to see if there are any differences in the experience. But nevertheless, I still enjoyed it. But my subtitles, they seemed accurate, they made sense with what was happening, but I can't say that the dialogue was like for like. This is about, as I said, a couple who are going through a divorce, and they go off in their camper to try and discuss things and work things out and try and do the separation in the best way possible. And they get into a really difficult, potentially dangerous situation where they are forced together to stay in this enclosed space in the camper with some dangers and threats to their health, potentially. And I'll say no more than that. I don't want to give away too much more than that, but I think the narrative works really well. It was quite funny. Again, this is comedy based on the subtitles that were translated from the auto-generated French transcript, so take what I'm saying with a pinch of salt. But at the very least, it is enjoyable the way I watched it. The performances were very good. The voice dubbing sounded great. We had a lot of intonations and things, and a lot of shouting, a lot of arguing, and then scenes where things are lighter and more lighthearted, and people are laughing, and it kind of goes back and forth, and it really shows an uncertainty with what's going to happen between these two characters by the end of the film, and I like that. And it's not completely predictable either. There are a few things that happened that I didn't necessarily see coming, and I quite enjoyed that part of it. So I can conclude that the story of It Must Be Love, or Surviving Love, is an interesting tale. The characters are very well written. I believed their relationship, going back and forth from arguing to, well, not as loud communication, and then more arguing, and then quieter communication, and I believed that. I think it went back and forth in a way that was very convincing. The performances were very good. The French dubbing was very good, and visually gorgeous. We have a lot of, obviously because we're out in the camper, we're out in the middle of goodness knows where, we have a lot of beautiful open spaces. The camper itself, it made me feel a little claustrophobic, to be honest. It's quite an enclosed space, which really helped to heighten the fact that this couple going through a divorce are having to spend time together in this space. And I thought it worked really well. We don't spend the entirety of the film there, though. We do have other characters and other scenes outside of it just to keep things a little bit fresh and to keep things moving. So, honestly, I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to recommend it. And if you're in the States, you can watch it. It is currently on Amazon Prime in the States, not for free. I believe it is to rent or to buy. It's not very expensive, but not available in the UK for some stupid reason. And as I said, I couldn't even find an English language DVD. In fact, I could only find 2 copies of the DVD at all. There's the one that I bought on eBay, and I'll be honest, I paid about £25 maybe to have it imported from France, which, including postage, is not horrendous. And there's another copy, again, the French version, for £87 on Amazon.co.uk. That's not including postage. So I don't even know if it was ever released on DVD, English language, because I can't see any evidence that that was the case. It's definitely not available for streaming in the UK at present. And I still enjoyed the experience. It was not the way I necessarily wanted to watch it, but it worked well. I still got to see Ted Danson performing. I still got to enjoy the story. So do I recommend doing it my way? It's a lot of work and a lot of money. But if you love Ted Danson, then why not? Why not? He is worth it. The film was worth it. I quite enjoyed it. I would like to see the English language version at some point, but actually, I am still feeling quite satisfied. I thought Surviving Love or It Must Be Love, I'm not sure. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find out which the proper title was. According to IMDb, it was released as It Must Be Love was the original title. Canada, it was released as Surviving Love. And in the UK, it has the title of Surviving Love, but I have no evidence that it was ever released in the UK. And in the States, it was also called It Must Be Love. I'm not going to try and pronounce the French title. I don't speak French, and I probably will do a terrible job. But thankfully, I was ultimately happy to have enjoyed the story, enjoyed getting to know the characters, enjoyed the performances, and thankfully, my auto-generated French subtitles translated into English in a way that made perfect sense with the action that was unfolding on screen. I can't comment on how funny the original script is, but certainly my way I found it to be quite fun. So it worked well enough, but take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt. I'd love to know what you think of it if you've seen the English version, and hopefully one day it will be available in the UK. But if not, honestly, I'm quite happy. I've seen it. I feel satisfied. It cost a lot of money and took a lot of time and effort, but Ted Danson is worth it. And I'm pleased to say It Must Be Love or Surviving Love was ultimately a pretty decent experience.